Oh no, not again. This time I'll start. And I say, all right. Shoot him now! Shoot him now! He doesn't have to shoot you now. I say he does have to shoot me now, so shoot me now! And so I go through the whole picture being Daffy, and then I go through the whole picture being Bugs. And that way, and then we shoot it individually. We would never shoot one actor against the other, particularly because it couldn't. Mel could hardly shift from Daffy Duck to whatever all the way through. For one thing, Daffy's voice was speeded up a little bit, as was Porky's and Tootie. So you need somebody as brilliant as that. He doesn't write the material, and he must have this wonderful understanding of who the character is. Not what the character is, who it is. Because you people are dealing with the same thing. That, you know, in all that Saturday morning junk, the characters are what's, not who's. The who is what a character is inside. The who is what Daffy Duck is, you know, and the who is what Bugs Bunny is. And when you write lines for one of them, like in the Groucho Marx or Chico Marx, you'd never write a line for Chico that could be read by Groucho. You'd never write a line for Daffy that could be read by Bugs or Pepe Le Pew. Exactly the same situation. Bugs would, in a dangerous situation, Bugs would rest all his weight on one leg and put his foot out like this. This is not a running position, is it? Mm-hmm. Right? But Daffy would be ready to go. Mr. Hulo's Holiday, you know, or Buster Keaton, who had to do these feet because they didn't have anything else to do with. But this kind of feeling, you know. And Pepe, in exactly the same situation, moves in because that's who he is. So that who-ness is what we all look for, isn't it? Try to find out who this character is different than somebody else. Like Jack Benny, you know, this thing of, he said 3 fingers are funny, but 4 fingers aren't. We don't know. No, we don't know why that's funny. God damn it, when you get it, jump at it. You know, hold it at your breast. It's mine, mine. There was a man named Joe Penner many years ago that the only line he ever had was, "You want to buy a duck?" And for some reason, he would go like, "You want to buy a duck?" Or he'd come over like this and say, "Want to buy a duck?" It worked, didn't it? So you run across these little strange things, like people think that "What's up, Doc?" is a funny line. It isn't. It's funny. Find it within the situation that exists. In our house, we have a gate out by the front because everybody does Orange County. They're afraid Ronald Reagan might get in. So I come home one night and I open that gate and I walk in and I look up in the house and there's a door open. There's a son of a bitch there with a shotgun firing into my house. Do I walk up and tap him on the shoulder and say, "What's up, Doc?" No, sir. I leave a trail of smoke which leads to the police station. So that situation, that's what makes that line work, is because of the incongruity of it, the oddity of it, and that's what we all look for all the time. It's the funny little oddities that make the analysis of humor will reveal, I think, always that the comic makes up his own rules. In the Coyote and Roadrunner, we made up our own rules. Number one, the coyote must not, the coyote is only his own worst enemy. He never, the Roadrunner never does anything to the coyote except come up behind him and go BB. He does not engage in the fray. That's a rule. The Roadrunner, named Roadrunner, stays on the road. Unless you put a sign that says detour, okay? That's legit. You need to draw a white line across the desert, he'll form a line. What a fool, you know. And the Roadrunner never harms the coyote. This is very important. We always kept it on the southwestern American desert. Why? I don't know. It just seemed to be proper to do so. We set up all these rules. I think there were 11 all told. That we abided by religiously. And at the end, as the final pictures, we found out that the only thing we really needed was gravity. And, and that was a terrible enemy. But you know, when we first had the coyote fall off a cliff, and we got that wonderful down shot, and hit. Well, in the early days, you always put the sound effect people, for some reason, felt that no matter how far away the sound effect was, it should be loud. Right? And so, in this particular instance, we went into this room, and they were practicing the sound effects and all this for the dubbing. And the coyote fell off the plane, went off, and you heard the slide whistle and everything. The way I had it was 18 frames in the air, then 12 frames with no sound, and then the hit. Well, he forgot, and in those days they used pots that would turn like this instead of sliding. And he'd forgotten and left it very low. And so it went off, and then it went, whoop, and a funny little pop, which never used before. It was a mistake. But the mixer laughed so hard. He was laying on his back like a beetle. You know? And God, I thought, isn't that wonderful? He got up and he said, well, we've got to fix that. I said, Bob, you don't even think you've been mixing pictures for me for 15 years. If you touch that, I will take and pull your ears off and stick it on your nose. And I said, what the hell do you think you were laughing about? I said, God, it is funny, isn't it? So that's where the flute came from. And that's again that thing of listening. Where those little funny things happen, you never know. You have to keep watching it. And the thing that you don't expect at all may turn out to be that. But think of Laurel and Hardy, you know, the rules that they set up. And one of them, it's the most curious thing. I watched it for a long time and wonder why it was that Laurel and say the adversary was Edgar Kennedy, who very often was, or Jimmy Finlayson, who was just as crazy in his own way. But why is it that I can go over and you and I are having an argument, and I come over thinking, I wouldn't do this, mind you, but I would come over and snip part of your mustache off, right? All right? Because that's the most obvious thing to do. So, but the interesting thing about that is that at that point, Will doesn't do anything. I come back and Hardy's Lowell sitting here beside me, and I go, in close. I saw it because he's fat. Everything he does is in close. And so he and Laurel. At that point, then Kennedy, but not until they're back. Then Kennedy can get up, walk over, and pull all the buttons off my jacket. And I look down at it while he's doing it. Then he takes a handful of them like that, and then he puts them on the floor, and then snaps them. And he intercut to Laurel. He's crying, he's in sympathy. You can't do anything about it. Boom, go back you go. So this is a rule that you can't do anything when the other guy's doing it. Maybe you can fight back, but only in this way. Well, now, of course, if you watch a prize fight, you'll realize it's just a very, very spread condition of prize fight. Because very seldom do two prize fighters knock each other out at the same time. The guy hits you, and there's a hesitate. It's a small hesitate, but then the other fellow tries to hit him back and forth. So you spread that time element out. There's a logic there that really exists, and you recognize it as making kind of remote sense. So I believe it's very important to see if you can't find the element of common sense that lurks in any comedy. All comedy works that way. And I know that one of the Bugs pictures you may remember when they're down in the hole and Elmer's raging around up there, and Bugs says, "Go and see, he's still learning."